Oh, wow. Welcome. Hey there, St. Louis. How are you all doing?
Which is great.
Oh, good. Today's a really, really special day. We've got our mac and cheese, night, evening, you could say, since the light is still out. We still have a guest joining us. He'll be coming in probably through the mac and cheese in a moment. But I'll go ahead and introduce. We've got Kara Murphy-Smith. Woo! We've got Benjamin Murphy-Smith.
It's great to be here.
Oh, good. We are happy to have you. I'm Eleanor Bremer. Thomas Bremer will be here in 1 minute. He had to go to the bathroom, of course. Yes. But let's go ahead and, kick this right off, guys. What are you enjoying tonight?
Well, Ellie, it's none other than the Kraft Classic mac and cheese, Paw Patrol shape.
Paw Patrol shape?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Fancy.
Wow.
I prefer a shaped pasta if I can get it.
Very nice.
And, we had a few varieties to try from, but we decided let's start with the original instant mac and cheese.
You're probably going to want to see how great those Paw Patrol shapes really come out.
I'm sure you can really tell.
Oh, there's,
like this.
Yeah, that's a Chase and a Marshall there, and
Yeah.
then Ryder and the other one. Yeah,
Right.
I see that all there. Yeah. Wow.
Now, we're pairing our mac and cheese with a green bean for health.
Of course.
Natch.
And a homemade bread that will soon be going stale, so needs to be eaten.
Needs to be a little bit of toast, lots of butter, a great pairing, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Have you
And
introduced?
that's not all. You see my dear wife, Kara, we've only been married a little bit more than a year. Things are wonderful.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Proud brag. Anyway, spiced it up a little bit. Here's what I'm going to say about this. And I see you're doing a little bit of spicing yourself.
Yes.
Of course.
Our special guest is with us.
I'm gonna guess here, Kara, because I wasn't in the room for this. I think you've added a touch of cayenne, a little salt, a little pepper. I'm really not sure what else, but I can really taste the zip. It's really like coming through.
Now,
That's
we've only
amazing.
been married for a year and a half or so, but we've been together for some time. Ben knows me and my spices, and he's absolutely right.
Is there any paprika? Because I don't notice much of a color change.
Yep.
There is?
Now, for discussion purposes, we did taste it without any amendments.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And what were your thoughts on that?
I believe Ben quote said, "It's mac and cheese."
Yeah, what I meant to say was honestly the cheese tastes fucking plastic. And it's pretty not interesting as is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's more or less just like a smooth texture that you can swallow comfortably.
Mm-hmm.
I think even if you had any sort of digestive issues or esophageal kind of medical condition, you could suck this shit down no problem. It would be just fine.
So that's a pre-chew swallow. No chew.
Yeah. I would say if you had no teeth, this would be totally fine. But also, you'd be lucky if you had no real active taste buds, because you could still absolutely just have a fine time eating Kraft mac and cheese.
Or if you were sensitive in the taste department.
Right. If you were like, I don't like salt.
If you
or
were like,
a bit of pepper.
I like
or
baby food for
things
babies.
roasted.
I can hear them already. The moms at home right now are asking, will my toddler eat that?
I'm going to
it
say
fucking will.
absolutely. It's basically like eating almost nothing at all.
That's amazing.
Now,
Yeah, it's
I
not
have
gonna
a few
offend
more
anyone.
notes about our process and such, but I'd love to hear about what you guys are eating over there.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I thought you hit it with a little bit of hot sauce, so let's start at the base. What are you eating straight up the bottom?
I've got our package here. It is a pretty classic choice for families. The Velveeta shells and cheese.
Original.
Great, real milk. Real milk in there. Okay.
Yeah, real milk, of course. I'm gonna maybe let Tom take over here since he was our chef tonight.
Yes, I was the chef de cuisine, presiding over the stove. I made a bit of a mess, as I typically do when I am cooking. What did we have? Broccoli. We have some broccoli as
For
our
health.
side. For health.
That's great.
For health.
It looks like a bowl of mac and cheese. Promise it's broccoli.
Right.
Green for
Green.
health.
So
Tom, I gotta know, how long did you cook these noodles for? They are just the perfect chew.
Yeah, what's the dente on them?
I went with a 7 minutes. The box recommended 8.
An owl?
But I went with
8 would have been
You
too
went with
much.
an owl in the dente department.
Oh, of
yes,
course, of
yes,
course.
yeah. He came by, stayed 6 feet away, waved through the window.
Ow.
I threw it at the window and he was able to taste it.
Mhm.
Al
Mm-hmm.
Dincher.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, I really just dressed it up. I used about 7/8 of the sauce packet. My wife prefers extra sauce. I like it a little dry. I'm a dry boy.
You like a dry mac. You'd say
A hot
you
take.
don't want to have it smothered completely in gooey cheese.
I do like it smothered completely in gooey cheese.
And
What
what's
I
the
feel is that the aluminum foil packaging contains too much smothery gooey cheese. It overwhelms the pressed pasta.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
thing?
In addition to gooey cheese, we have also added pepper and Frank. Al and Frank both came.
Al and Frank. Great.
Mm-hmm. Now I've got a question for everyone here for the evening. Well, first let me preface it with you have elbow, right? Elbow noodle.
No.
Oh no,
Oh, no, we have
fun shape.
Oh, fun shape. I'm so sorry. And we have our shell.
right.
shell. How do you
Traditional for
think?
us.
How do you suppose a change in noodle shape would affect your specific experience?
Well, before you answer this,
I thought.
I have to say something regarding the process tonight and regarding Al. I failed to welcome Al into my home. I was trying to do the green beans too and the bread.
Yeah.
And
There's a lot for women these days to have to do in the kitchen. Let's be honest.
modern women, there's just a lot going on. Even in this
Can't do it all.
Can't do it all.
We got
Earlier today, I was putting together a table and cleaning a tree. So, there's just a lot going on. But I failed to pull off my pasta at the proper time. And so we got quite the mush. So I
I
would
wouldn't
say
go that far, darling. It's not a mush.
it's a good texture.
It is soft.
It's a great texture for a little baby who doesn't want to chew.
Or someone with esophageal
Or
issues.
esophagus issues. That's not us, but it could be somebody else.
No, great esophagus.
So far.
Real good pipes on this one too. We're in a band. We're musicians.
that's great to hear.
But so I would say a different pasta shape. I would say I would hate a spaghetti. God, would I hate a spaghetti with mac and cheese.
Never would.
Oh,
Can you imagine?
excuse my
Can you
reaction. That just sounds awful. I
Don't
mean,
even know how it came to your mind.
maybe the
You
worst
must
thing.
be a sick person.
The worst thing that could happen right now in 2020.
Yeah.
No.
I can't think of much worse things to happen.
You know what a great prank would be, guys? Not spaghetti and cheese. Vermicelli and cheese. Vermicelli and Velveeta cheese together. The
What
thin, stringy,
angel hair.
stringy angel
Ugh.
hair pasta.
That would be absolutely the worst. Like maybe only topped by lasagna.
Oh, lasagna.
I could be into a long lasagna noodle if it stays whole and I have to eat it like a monster.
Uh-huh.
That would be
To each their own.
I do think this, because I have a lot of philosophy on noodles and noodle shapes and noodle size. In fact, I just made a lasagna this week. I fucking don't really think a lasagna noodle is fit for even lasagna. Let's be honest here. Let's be real. I think a better thing, and then I'll
We're just
bring it all
not
back to the
lasagna
mac.
people.
We're not lasagna people, but here's a great idea. I do like the idea of a layered baked pasta. That is a good idea. What if? You did it, but you did it with elbows. You do a layer of elbows in there, and then you cut another thing on there, and then you do another layer of, let's say, the rotinis, the guy with the little tubes.
That's like a tuna noodle casserole. It's a whole different situation. It's not a lasagna anymore.
You know what that is, though? That's a good treat. I'd like to bring it back to this, guys. Mac and cheese, I feel the supreme form of mac and cheese is the shell, and if you can give me a big shell, the bigger shell, the better. That's how I want to be doing it all the time. I really do feel like an option with how much it's going to be. Cheese will be living inside of the shell.
As Tom is pointing out, they make like big cannelloni.
Like hand-sized.
Yeah.
I would hate that. God, I'm so sorry to talk about pasta a little bit longer, but we were eating this lasagna, and I was thinking, like, God, I really hated when my mom would make lasagna. Like, I just never enjoyed it. I don't like ricotta cheese in a pasta. It gets all mealy.
Obviously, yeah.
I love it.
You gotta try it with cottage cheese. I like a lasagna made with cottage cheese. I'm serious.
I am not a fan of cottage cheese, and I will back this proposition.
Well, I love cottage cheese. So the cottage cheese is not what's putting me off. What's putting me off? What's putting me off is the concept of a mealy cheese.
What I need to ask before we move on from pasta is...
Wait. I'm sorry. I have to finish my note about the pasta shape.
Yes.
I was thinking, God, I hate when my mom would make lasagna. Or I didn't hate it, but I was just kind of like, no, thank you. And then I just remembered, because of the shell talk, she would also make a thing I did not like that was big stuffed shells. And it was like...
What was she putting in the shell?
Theoretically, all the things I wanted. The cheese, the tomato sauce, the pasta. It wasn't...
Yeah, I get
it
that
was
the
a weird
space is
thing
crazy.
to contend with.
Let me say this and tell me, guys, if this is too out of left field. You got one of those giant shells. You got one of the giant shells. But let's say this. Yes, there's Velveeta cheese in there mixed in, but then what if inside of each of the giant shells is a broccoli floret?
What?
That's nice. A broccly floret nested inside. You cut through that, you have a nice floret with cheese and a shell. I'd be fucking in heaven. That'd be great.
Send it to Velveeta. I'm sure they'd like to hear your recipe.
I bet they could find a way to manufacture that in the factory, and then it comes out, and then you just drop it. Like, it steams the broccoli inside of it. It cooks the noodle. Then you just drizzle that cheese around, buddy.
Tom, what were you going to say?
I have two thoughts. One on this broccoli situation, and two, back to pasta shapes briefly. My childhood Velveeta shells and cheese was one of two options. One, Velveeta with the bacon bits already in the box.
Already mixed?
Two, yes, it comes prepackaged. Velveeta bacon.
Sounds good. Okay.
An option.
But it's all right.
Velveeta with broccoli already in the box. So you could, it was there. It was done. It's a problem solved. It cooked.
You've done that already?
It's done.
Where can I find this?
The broccoli's in the sauce?
I don't remember because I never made it. I was a wee lad, but it would be in the box.
Do you think this is the Bako bits were vegetarian Bako bits? Because I know most Bako bits that you have on a salad are vegetarian, right?
Yes, quite often. Yes. I will do a quick search. Velveeta, Mac.
Now Ben's also doing a search. We need a production person on the search.
I would also like to request a question.
Al.
Time for a question. Would we, if you had elbows or shells instead of the Paw Patrol, would you find that the amount of joy would be the same? Or does the Paw Patrol bring more joy to the sustenance?
Good question, Tom.
That is a great question.
I always feel that a shaped pasta really livens things up. I always go for a shape if I can get it. Same with like a Cheez-It. Get that Star Wars shit stamped Cheez-It.
Oh.
I love the way that C-3PO looks on a Cheez-It so much. So it really does bring me so much joy. Now the Paw Patrol, as I said, I kind of think that, guys, maybe I'll take a wild turn next time. What they recommend for the Paw Patrol shape is 11 to 12 minutes.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. What I might try in the future is just drastically underdoing it. And seeing if I can get something to hold the shape better. Because when I was a kid, I remember the noodles, no matter if you had elbow or shape, it would always break down. I still find it more joy brings me a little more joy if I know that there's a character, even if he's all buried in there.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm ready to move on to our next topic of conversation here.
Well,
How would you?
okay.
Yes.
I did want to hear about your shell first.
Oh, my
preference.
My preference is a shell, all or nothing. Honestly, I would never mess around with an elbow.
Oh.
Never grab. We never grab the shapes. If I did, I think I would enjoy it, but on an average night, I definitely go for that shell.
What scale of shell do you prefer?
Average. I don't want minis. I've had the minis.
Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah, I don't like.
Extra large is a whole different dish.
Yeah,
That's when you get the full shell and that's your meal. This is a dish of many tiny little shells.
I don't mean to skip ahead here, but a real question: do you feel another noodle option that maybe could be considered is the rotinis? I think they are. They're like little tubes. They're not elbow
Oh, you're not talking
size.
about a spiral?
No, I'm not talking about
a penne.
a penne. Yes.
Penne.
It's a little bit of bigger tube. I feel like that would be honestly maybe if I could venture there would be my optimal mac and cheese noodle.
I'm a little worried that too much cheese gets stuck on the inside or
Yeah,
not enough, and
There's
then
a good
you
chance. And then
Sit on the inside and on the outside, and I feel like that noodle would maybe hold too much on the inside.
and
Possibly.
you know what? It would not be a dignified snack because then you're there at dinner and then you chomp down on one and it all just comes out the other end.
Right.
How embarrassing.
That'd be so embarrassing.
Not be able to handle that. Disgusting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Now-
Next.
Next question. And I'll take this one first. I think, but we should all take a moment to maybe describe the mouth feel of the cheese and noodle combined. I'm personally thinking like a hot summer night, July,
Great.
St. Louis. My air conditioning is not on. That is the mouthfeel I have eating this spicy, creamy mac and cheese.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
I feel I'm a little more like watching Price is Right in my parents' room on a summer afternoon, and like I'm left to my own devices to figure out lunch, and I think I'm pretty good at cooking, so I make some mac and cheese for my brothers from a box. Although honestly, that's quite spot on what Velveeta mac and cheese for me is. That was a thing I really made quite a lot in my younger days. But still has that kind of vibe when I eat a boxed mac and cheese of any sort, I'd say.
Yeah, for me, most of it would be the memory of being across the street at my friend Mike's house.
Mike Garavaglia.
Mike Garavaglia, we all know.
Oh, classic Mike.
Of course.
And his mom has made us way too much mac and cheese. That texture is there, but a thing that I've not had since Garavaglia's house is mac and cheese, but the way Mike's mother, Nancy, who is also our den mother
I
in the
know where
Cub
you're going with
Scouts,
this.
cut in some hot dog
Slice
circles. We're
up
going to
hot
slice in
dogs,
some
yeah.
hot dog circles, and that I haven't had that since then. But often the texture, the feel, and the slip of Velveeta mac and cheese echoes
Wait,
that.
Velveeta, or are you talking about Kraft, which is what we
Or
have?
sorry, Kraft, but the same sort of
Cheese.
like plasticky, like it's just going to slide around like a highly viscous meal. That would be it. It would be that feeling being over at their house, watching Fraggle Rock, watching cable television, that kind of thing, I think.
Now, Tom, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Ben's comment really got me thinking about a comment we got in from a write-in, an audience member who knew we were listening or doing this topic. Tino, she writes that when she makes her mac and cheese at home, she typically adds 3 hot dogs, sprinkles on goldfish crumbles,
Well, that's a great idea.
and Parmesan cheese.
Wow.
Cheese or fresh?
I'm thinking it's probably shake cheese if she's doing hot dogs and goldfish. Yes.
That's great.
The rest
That's
of that
decadent.
makes me think it's gonna be the shaker.
That's decadent, and I like it because it cures a number of issues that I have with Velveeta, with any of these boxed mac and cheeses, which is 1, texture, 2, low salt content.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's a lot of sodium hiding somewhere in there, but somehow I'm going to need that, get a little taste on my tongue.
Mm-hmm.
I need a little zip.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, a thing that's always missing is 3 hot dogs. I am going to need,
Right.
I think, that level of protein and like carcinogenic sulfates in my stomach after a good meal.
Now, can I pause this here for a second, because I have a lot more to say about my process today.
I'm sorry, Tom has not had a chance to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I was gonna say I would hate to get into a new topic here without hearing from Tom about. Tom, just
thank you, Tino, for your write-in.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tino.
I have
I'd love to hear, where does this take you? You know, where does the mac and cheese just transport you to in your life?
Yes. If I close
Is
my
that okay? Is that okay, Ellie? Did I butcher it? Okay.
if I close my eyes and take a heaping spoonful of the mac and cheese, I am transported instantly to my mother's house in the living room, watching television, as we often did while eating dinner. And we would have broccoli. Broccoli and mac and cheese is my traditional, the way we predominantly cook it in our household as well.
Yeah.
That's
Broccoli.
if we think about mouthfeel and texture, though, it's a gooey, plasticky softness.
Absolutely.
Like a pillowy mound of plastic. It's really
Yeah, just kind of like an edible glue that just kind of
You know what's interesting? Glue is edible.
just becomes part of you. Glue isn't edible, dear, but I mean,
No,
you can.
depends on the glue.
It's not toxic. And
Edible.
now, for the listener, there's a difference. We don't need to get into that right now, but
some things are inert. Those things are edible. All things that are inert, you can eat.
I would like to take a brief break before we go to a commercial break. Show of hands, who has eaten glue?
like Elmer's?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, guys. Maybe for the next roundups, we try glue.
Next episode, glue.
Before we move on,
the quarantine takes us from like a sensible thing, mac and cheese, and then the next fucking episode is
glue.
Glue.
Absolutely eat Elmer's glue. It's not good, but it's not as bad as you would think it would taste.
It's a quite unique flavor and texture.
Okay. Now we've got one more comment. This is from an internet write-in. He just goes by MG. And
those kids, they're always on the internet.
We'll see. I don't know. He writes in that anytime he uses a boxed mac and cheese, he likes to add in about between a cup and a cup and a half of half and half, in addition to the boxed cheese goo. He loves that half and half.
Now, I have a couple questions here. Using like a Velveeta, a goo?
Oh yeah, no, that's what Milky, maybe that's his name, G has written into us.
Now, seems like you took the liberty of making up a first name, or is that what he wrote in?
Well, the picture he's got is, he's just labeled as MG, but the picture, I mean, it is a very milky looking man.
Sure.
Somewhere between 25 and I'd say 60. Not really sure on that, but his picture is as clear as a cup of half and half.
Gotcha.
It seems like it would add a good amount of
seems like
creaminess.
It's too much moisture.
I don't know, because I mean, if you could maybe cook it down a little, who could say?
Yeah, I would love to talk to Milky G, I guess, MG.
I think if you whip it, don't just stir it and fold it in, but I think if you whip that through the cheese, that's great. Let me push this forward. I would like to reach out to MD. What's that?
Like a microphone with cheese? Is that what you're suggesting?
Whipped?
Yes, but I'm saying even more so. There's this hot trend with people that make a little instant coffee with a little bit of sugar and a little bit of heavy cream, and you whip the shit out of it. What if you got some heavy cream? What if you get Milky G in there, and you get this powder, and you get heavy cream, maybe even a little bit of powdered sugar on top of that. You put the immersion blender on that shit.
You're saying
Go to town.
whipped cream. And then
But
you
with
put the
craft
cheese in there.
cheese powder
Now,
mixed into
this
the,
really
the
does
heavy
bring
cream.
me to, can I talk a little bit about the process?
Of course, yeah.
Beyond just, no, it's all you. I don't have regular milk. We have the, like, as you understand, you get the powder with this. There's no cheese packet that's goo already. You have to assemble the goo yourself. And
All
I will
natural.
what's that?
All natural.
All natural. It's been a very long time since I've made Kraft mac and cheese with a powder, because when I was still really hitting the mac and cheese hard, I was all about the goo because it's better. I don't have ever just milk in the house, but we did have some heavy whipping cream for baking purposes. So we had a bit of a heavier version, I'd say, of mac and cheese, of the powder.
Is heavy cream?
What's that?
Tonight's is
It's only like
I
my
didn't
other
even
option-
know it's delicious.
My other option would have been almond milk that has some sweetener. It's a bit sugared, so I just felt that wasn't gonna yield the
It could've been
flavors.
okay.
That would have interrupted things, I think. So I went with the heavy whipping cream, so it was a bit heavier. I had a hell of a time just trying to get that cheese sauce smooth before putting the noodles in, which I remember being a real hassle when I was younger.
always.
Again, I was doing a couple too many things, and my butter, like, I was like, oh, I browned it a little bit. That's fine. Like, not burned. Brown.
Delicious.
That sounds great. But I think, I needed some of it cooked off a little. So, yeah. And then the heavy whipping cream is a little thick. So did I have time trying to get it all smooth?
Honey,
before.
I think you really fucking worked it out, though, because I think the texture is incredible.
Oh, thank you.
And I think
Thank
maybe,
you.
like, I again, even though it says heavy cream on it, I don't feel heavy. In fact, I feel light.
It's probably
I
the
feel like
green
I'm
beans.
ready for a jog. I had seconds even, and I'm ready to hit the open road.
Well, there he goes.
So I would like to ask one clarifying question about process. You
Sure.
cooked your noodles.
Yeah.
You added some butter. It browned. Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Then did you add milk or heavy cream and powder, or did you do the powder and milk separate?
So I drained the pasta that I was overcooking. But while the pasta drained, I, again, was also trying to do the green beans and the bread. But I melted the butter, went and tried to retrieve the milk, got into a real struggle with the container, I tell you what. Couldn't get that stupid little cardboard thing open. Was making me very mad.
Oh, is it fresh?
that's why we need a man around.
Fresh box.
Fresh box, new box, yeah, fresh man. Fresh man,
Freshman?
fresh box. Finally got my little finger in there, pried it open. And then I added the milk in, then whisked the butter and the milk together, then got the powder going, and boy was it lumpy. Not just little pockets of powder, just like I remember it being when I was younger, always a struggle. So I added a bit more cream. Still pretty lumpy. Got the pasta in there, realized it was overcooked. Just got a little bit mad at myself because this is supposed to be a thing that children can make pretty much for themselves. But I feel I was making things a little more complicated than I needed to. So eventually it got smooth enough. It was okay.
When the sauce was lumpy, did you perhaps think about throwing it in the dumper? No.
I almost put the lumps right in the dumper, lumpy in the dumper, but I didn't want to give up on myself. And I remember there's an episode of Great British Bake Off where a guy's making ice cream and it goes wrong.
Heartbreaking.
Dumps it. Heartbreaking. He dumps it and the judges are like, you gotta put something out there, buddy. And that's how I felt tonight. I didn't want to dump it. I didn't want to dumpy those lumpies because I wanted to put something out there.
Yeah.
And I think it paid off.
Absolutely. It was
I don't
incredible.
want to speak for our host, and your husband, but I would say that perseverance is one of my favorite things about you. And you really showed it tonight.
Thank you, Tom. That's very sweet. Now, I just have a hell of a question for y'all. Are we all the host? Is just Ellie the host?
Yeah.
And we are guests? What's
I
going
think
on?
we're all hosts. I
Oh.
just happen to, lead this parts of this, but
You're the host of the hosts.
host of right now,
Okay.
perhaps. Host of a
Host
little
of
bit.
hosts. Okay. Because we came dressed to be co-hosts, but I'm happy to give up the pleasure if
I believe the only person here who's not dressed to host would be my dear Thomas here.
I'm dressed.
We can all agree on that,
I
right?
am dressed as the fourth host.
For the
I know where I belong, and I dressed for the occasion.
Mhm.
right. Okay.
No,
Well-
I mean, see what we're drinking out of? Not coffee cups.
We thought this would be a
You got the coffee
You
cup,
did.
and that
It's
was in
very smart.
hosting 101, right?
We're also sitting on stools, but you can't see.
Oh, I can tell.
Okay, great.
I can tell. And I heard you have the fire going.
Yeah, well, I turned it off because you couldn't see it, and then
Hmm.
I'll get it back on.
Oh, that's
Mm.
lovely. That
Yeah.
makes me want a little more mac and cheese. That's nice. Thomas, will you pass my accoutrements that I did not add in? I tried to have a candle going, but it kept disappearing into
Oh, it's
Lovely.
lovely. And flowers.
flowers, but
Nice.
they just,
Well, just a beautiful set.
mac and cheese really ate it up, and I found that to be slightly more important.
I understand. That's smart.
Mhm. Well, this has been a great first episode.
Just
for-
lovely.
I feel like I learned a lot, and I feel like, I maybe have been overshooting my idea of what is a dream mac and cheese of like just enormous shapes. I just want to be carving through enormous shells all the time. But I guess you guys are right. You bring some very valid points to the thing.
Just don't know if the cheese lends well to
I
a
think
larger
you're absolutely
shell.
right. You're absolutely right.
It's already kind of a heavy dish.
Mhm, mhm. How do you guys feel about baked mac and cheeses?
I really have a lot to say about it, quite honestly. I mean,
Hold on. Now let's all, on the count of 3, just give a thumbs up. You prefer it, or like you really like it.
okay.
Thumbs
Perfect.
medium, thumbs down, you don't like it. Okay, ready? On
Okay. I think-
1, 2, 3. Interesting. We've got 2 mediums, an up and a down. That's just all over the board here.
Medium.
We've got a bell curve, my friends.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
classic.
So
Okay.
I was just gonna say my medium refers to more than I'm okay about it is more like it can go totally up or it can go totally down.
Correct.
And more often than not, to me, it's a thumbs down
Mhm.
because of how it's prepared.
Why is that? You feel it's overdone or what?
Not fucking cheesy at all. Not creamy or cheesy. It's dry and pretty gross usually.
Mhm.
But I do think that it can go really nicely if it's prepared in a way where the moisture is retained and then you get a little crumbly, nice, rough top. I like that.
I gotta say, I love the format. I love the idea of somebody coming at it from that angle of just making it another great baked pasta. But you're right, it's just like lasagna or any other baked pasta. You're taking a gamble, or you better have your process down. And there's a good chance that maybe just that noodle format doesn't work all the time. I've had some very good ones. Every one that I've had in my life is at a restaurant where I feel they're experienced, prepared with this. At a spaghetti factory.
You had mac and cheese, baked mac and cheese. I
Yes.
didn't know they offered this.
Well, I was a little boy, a little childish boy. And they had that on the menu for little boys. And so I go in and I ask for a little boy's menu and they seat me with one. And I get a baked mac and cheese. It was delicious. And in my mind, it might have been too much cheese, but I was absolutely it felt indulgent and wonderful.
Okay.
And that's honestly, when everyone says baked mac and cheese, that's where my head goes, is specifically that experience. And I'm like, it's divine. Why not every day?
Interesting.
I feel like I love mac and cheese. And then when sometimes you order it at a restaurant even, and then they hit you with a baked mac and cheese that's all dry inside, it is heartbreaking.
Mm-hmm.
Because you really are gearing up for some mac and cheese. And then once you get to something dry,
Mm.
that's not what I imagine mac and cheese being.
Mm-hmm.
Good
I
point.
agree. I find that the number one problem I have with a baked mac and cheese is that it gets dry, and it's just not something I ever want. It's not that, hot blanket of cheese covering my mouth on a July night. Instead, it is just a sad, dry dream.
A sad dry dream that never was.
I never wanted, it's a nightmare.
I tend to agree. I like a baked mac and cheese in an occasion where it is perhaps a buffet. Where I first go is a funeral. I feel like a baked mac and cheese is a post-funeral dish.
Yeah.
It's always quite comforting. This might be controversial, and pardon me if it is, but I feel mac and cheese is really only good in two scenarios. Scenario one, fresh from the pot, ooey gooey sticky. Scenario two, cold, straight from the fridge. And those are the two ways I want to eat it.
Well, that's reasonable to me. I also love it cold. We haven't talked about this yet.
No,
Straight out the fridge cold, I think, is a fucking dream.
let me tell you.
Your answer in 3, 2, 1.
You know what's a good one, guys? Have you ever done this shit before? Because I know I have. You get it cold out the fridge. You get one slice of white bread. Put it on top of that. And then you're going to hit a little squirt of mustard. Maybe make the smiley face with
It's
it.
not mustard, though. Go ahead. Mustard.
A little squirt of mustard on top of that, a little smiley face. Then you roll that fucker up into a little half. And you, And that's a good time. That's a great time.
I have eaten so much cold mac and cheese in my time because I was eating mac and cheese quite a lot, as I previously mentioned. And I wouldn't be able to finish a whole Velveeta box by myself, so I would save some for myself later.
Sure.
God, it was bad every time. I ate so much cold mac and cheese, but I hated it every single time. But when you heat it up, it's not quite the same. Velveeta, at least, you just can't really get it back to that consistency. And
which is why I don't try. Which is why I just eat it.
I understand. I totally understand.
I like it.
You gotta heat it up over the stovetop and add a little bit more liquid and stir it so it doesn't burn. And then that is how you get it to be gooey again.
Well, no, that's a great tip, Ellie. Now that I'm an adult, maybe I will get better at reheating mac and cheese. I just haven't really even attempted it in a long time.
I
go ahead. Sorry.
feel as if I've done the effort once for the mac and cheese. I've cooked it over the stove. I've added liquid. I've made it ooey gooey. That's all the effort I'm willing to put in. The other thing I will say I like about cold mac and cheese is, as someone with a bit of esophagus problems, I feel like it's a cold mac and cheese is a good way to feel alive in the afternoon, because you never know if you're going to choke on a cold mac and cheese. All the joy of a hot mac and cheese where you don't have to chew it is completely inverted with a cold mac and cheese.
You could absolutely choke on a cold mac and cheese. Pretty easy.
You're a risk taker.
I try to be, but in small doses. Micro risks.
Another cheese-related choking thing, could I mention real quick?
Good.
Did anybody else really struggle with a mozzarella stick when you were young?
Girl, I've been there.
Bosco stick for me.
For
but
sure.
yes.
Oh, at a restaurant. I feel like I was at a restaurant. Well, because I guess you can buy them, but
I
normally
would never take them at home.
get it at the restaurant. And yeah, you swallow half, and then there's still more in your mouth.
Yep. Got to cough it back up. Try again.
I just power through it. I would just swallow that next piece.
Guys, again,
I don't know what I would. I'm not sure. Now I can't remember what my solution was. I didn't choke because I'm still here today.
we haven't talked about this much other than that first Q&A from the audience, but I think there's I really would like to talk about a thing that I used to find great on top of cold mac and cheese, since Tom's bringing this up, which is just crumbled Doritos, crumbled standard cheese Doritos. is a
Ooh,
great put
that-
on top of cold mac and cheese. Let's talk about crumbling on top.
oh,
All right. So
right.
I think that's a popular thing you see in a lot of baked mac and cheeses or just cheeses in a restaurant.
Sure.
Is there will be some sort of bready crumble up on top.
Sure. And I think a
Now,
lot.
I think Doritos on top, honestly, gonna
Sounds
do it for
alright.
me. I think if you get spicy, nacho
spicy.
spice, you
Spicy.
get even these newer brand of even hotter chips. I fucking go for.
Mm.
I think that here's something I'm not sure why isn't more popular. A lot of people reserve crumble topping for baked mac and cheese only. You know, they want it to be baked onto the topping, but a crumble top could go on any mac and
Crumble
cheese.
top can go on
Just
anything.
like our viewer Tino mentioned about the lots of hot dogs, but also a top would be a crumbled goldfish cracker.
Look, it's just
that,
like
that is what she had said.
crumbles can go on all kinds of things. The idea of just there's so many chips that would be great options. I mean, there's clearly like you don't want to get crazy and put like a cool ranch or some bullshit like that.
I don't know.
Might be good.
Might be good. I would.
Might
I
be good. I
I don't
think
like that. I mean, your examples are all Doritos so far, but
I don't think we
My
I
first
think it's the
instinct
cheese.
was the as we are all fans of the Mighty Mississippi. My first instinct was the old Vienna Red
The
Hot,
Ripper, of course.
the
That's-
Ripper.
the Riplet, the old
Oh.
Red Hot Riplet. That was my
Sure.
first instinct.
That'd be great. I think that's a great topping. And
I've
do
never done it.
that-
Personally.
what?
I've never done it personally, but it sounds delicious.
Mhm.
This is
I
a new
have a
concept.
big recollection of no, never mind. That was a breading for something. Never mind. Disregard.
You know, it's interesting because you could, you could prepare it a bit more like a breading and make a whole kind of you crush. You know, you put it all in a Ziploc bag. You hit it with the bread roller or what do you call it? Like a French dough
Rolling pin.
rolling
Oh, a
pin.
rolling pin.
That's right. And then you might mix a little bit of butter in there, maybe even a dash of flour to really make it hold. And then you just flick it
Nah,
on
you
it.
don't want any raw flour on top of your pasta.
Oh, it's mixed in with the butter already.
Because it
It's
cooks.
still raw.
Oh no, guys. Look, the point is you're gonna want good,
You gotta cook the flour.
crumbly. I think just
You could heat it up on the stove. Maybe.
yeah, I guess that's true. Red Hot Ripple is a great call. I think this is gonna take it totally to another direction. A great morning after, maybe a great hangover treatment. I know we're all drinking more in these hard, difficult times in America. America only, of course. Is maybe you throw a fucking sunny side up on top of that cold mac and cheese.
Now I don't want that for the cold mac and cheese, but I'm not against the idea of an egg on top of a regular mac and cheese.
Sure, yeah, okay.
I definitely don't want it on top of cold mac and cheese. That doesn't sound good at all.
I think I had a fun time with that, to be honest.
What you got there?
We are taking a brief Boda Box wine break.
Oh, interesting. This break brought to you by Boda Box.
This episode, you're right. Oh, wait, let's
Our
take
box is green, so you can't see it.
I sure can't.
Why is it censoring out
ours
your
is
Boda
orange.
Box? That's great.
because it's the green screen. Let's see here. There we go. This is for
There it is. Oh, a nice hot gold
Nice.
Sauvignon Blanc. Now we are going with a Boda Box Pinot Grigio. Another background.
Oh yeah. Thought I'd switch it up a bit. Really go towards one of our other sponsors for tonight.
I would like to say I got word from a third-party researcher that Velveeta does still sell the broccoli and the bacon box. So
Okay, I have some questions about that broccoli, but
Would you like?
Not interested in trying it.
Yeah.
I don't want it. But I am curious about, like, is it in the cheese sauce? And it must just be freeze-dried broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Mm-hmm.
In which case, I would think you would want it actually in a separate package. And then it's reconstituted in some capacity.
Maybe it's with the noodles, freeze dried, and then you.
Okay.
Go
No, well, you
I
can't.
remember it being quite small little pieces,
Mhm.
just the tiniest little babies of broccoli.
Mhm.
More of a
little freeze-dried
Oh.
Florida.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
well,
Make you think you're healthy.
Really, just get some broccoli, guys. I mean, not you, but the world.
Mhm.
Buy y'all a bag of frozen broccoli. Cook
Mhm.
that up.
Probably an eighth of a serving of a vegetable within the 3 servings of mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
would we like, I don't want to diverge too much? Sorry for interrupting, Kara. Perhaps we would like to read the ingredients of our mac and cheeses.
Oh, well, we can do that. I mean, we had, as you know, our added ingredients of an unsalted butter, and I would say what ended up being recommended 3, but ended up having to be about 4 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream.
Mhm.
I also added in some spices, as was aforementioned. I put in some cayenne, some smoked paprika, some black pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. What was already in here? The pasta was made of enriched wheat flour. I'm not going to go ahead and read the little in between things. You know, you don't need to know all these extra.
Get the big ones.
I'll just let you know what's not in parentheses. So there's the pasta, which is made with enriched wheat flour. There was going to be hard to get through these parentheses. We'll just skip all that. You know, there was flour in there, and then there was also a lot of other stuff, including riboflavin and some vitamins. In the cheese sauce, we had whey, milk fat, milk protein concentrate, salt, calcium carbonate, sodium triphosphate, potassium chloride, citric acid, sodium phosphate, lactic acid, natural flavor.
Great.
I love that natural flavor.
Natural
Favorite flavors.
milk. Fascinating.
I'm sorry, what was that last
I'm sorry, this is just fascinating. Milk, then next ingredient says with paprika, next ingredient, annatto, and turmeric added for color. Okay. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. These 3 things, paprika, annatto, and turmeric are all added for color. I understand now. Then there's also some enzymes in there, cheese culture and sodium caseinate.
Delicious.
Yeah, great.
Tom?
I will say that it looks like they might have changed what they used to do. Yeah, it says no artificial dyes. Annatto, paprika, and turmeric are all natural natural dyes.
Great job.
Ours does
It's
not
less
have
yellow than I remember.
Ours does not have any such warnings. It does, however, say, and this is something I've never noticed before, at the top, oh, it's going to be impossible to read. Hold on. Sponsors getting in the way of the sponsors. Give me 1 second, briefly. It does say here at the top, I hope you can read this, liquid gold.
Gold. Interesting.
But
I don't remember
definitely
that
not
being
natural. It's not claiming in any way, shape, or form to be natural.
Got another background here,
Oh,
folks.
it looks like a personal picture.
Tom, go ahead.
Ingredients. Enriched macaroni product, which is wheat flour, niacin, ferrous sulfate, thiamine, monotriate, riboflavin. Then we're on to the cheese sauce. The cheese sauce is whey, cheddar cheese, milk, whey protein concentrate, canola oil, sodium phosphate, milk protein concentrate, contains less than 2% of salt, lactic acid, sodium alginate, sorbic acid as a preservative, olidresin, paprika for color, enzymes, cheese culture, annatto extract for color, milk fat, and natural flavor.
Now, can anyone
A natural flavor is that must be one of the keys.
Can anyone here tell me what the fuck riboflavin is?
Sure can't.
It's a thing I've seen my whole life and been like, but I don't know what it is. Is it a preservative, perhaps, or a wonder?
It was like one of those,
chemical?
vitamin chemicals.
Riboflavin is it's like it's good for some part of my body.
Also known as vitamin B2.
Riboflavin is?
Sure is.
Yeah.
B2.
Nice.
Vegetarians what they need. Am I right?
Yeah, sure do.
Now I did hear
I feel that too.
It helps prevent migraines.
Great.
it's a health food. What we're
Great.
having
It's
tonight.
actually healthy.
I did hear that both of our ingredients listed included a cheese product. What age of cheddar do you think that we enjoyed tonight? You know, are we talking like 5-year, 10-year age cheddar?
No. I think if it's anything
To be honest with you, mine doesn't actually say, oh, it says cheese culture, but that could be just red in it. Otherwise, there's no cheese in here.
yeah, I mean it's whey and milk products, and the only thing I know about like whey byproducts is most of those exist for about 3 years. You can't really keep the shit around much longer. It will get weird.
At least 3-year.
Yeah, probably.
In a cave, probably.
Yeah, sure, in a cave. But they make them, they filter them down so that they're dry powders so they can kind of keep for a while. I mean, most of these things are just some powders that somebody reconstituted either, at home in your pot or before it gets to you at the store.
I tried to do some light research here on the Velveeta box, and what I found is not the age in which the cheese is, but we're shockingly close to the expiration date for this packaged mac and cheese. I mean, we are still a few days away, but it's amazing.
Well, it's a good thing you used it today.
Oh yeah.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, I think so. Now, should we reserve our discussion for the next topic? For another
What's the next topic?
For another method?
Preview the next topic.
Or, we don't have it picked. I just mean, should we figure that out via a different form of communication?
Should the audience be involved or not?
Right.
I would assume that we would like to continue on to the pre-packaged form of foods. Nothing too fresh. Correct or no?
I mean, it sounded like we were headed to glue next.
Oh goodness.
I mean, I'm all for glue.
I think we should try.
Last time I ate glue, I had it with a Mountain Dew Code Red. So, and I also made, I think, $15. So it was a good day for me.
Yeah, I'll give you 50.
When you do paper mache, paper mache is just water and flour, which creates the glue. I would eat that, of course. Well, maybe, of course. I would at least eat that.
I would taste that, but again, that's raw flour, so don't want to eat too much of it.
You could toast it. You can toast flour and cook it out that way.
Oh,
I know what I'm talking about, but I remember that knowledge from somewhere.
okay.
Kick salad at your house.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, I have some ideas of what we could do next.
Okay.
I mean,
Present them.
oh, okay. So go ahead and
Go
discuss.
ahead.
Okay, we have to go in 3 minutes, but
Do a hard stop at it.
we have to make another appearance regarding
Busy people.
Such is the life of a Zoomfluencer.
absolutely it's an influencer. So my idea was maybe packaged fries, like frozen fries.
Yeah.
Lots of great choices there.
Now, I mean, I just specifically want to eat them with hot sauce, but I will try a few without the hot sauce.
Yeah, you know what else is interesting? It's kind of hard to get a hold of frozen fries. Right now.
Oh,
Are they?
not done.
They're a little bit in limited supply. At least it's difficult to get your druthers. Like I have a
I can
couple
tell
of
you we
brands
have a
that I
few,
love.
one in the freezer. It's not my preferred.
Yeah, we have one in the freezer that's just crinkle cut, and my dear wife, who I love a lot, does not.
Not a crinkle
We
cut.
eat a crinkle cut.
I'm sorry, that's a whole nother episode. I
Oh,
cannot
I
give
know.
my opinions.
I have
yet.
many questions, but I will reserve them. I
You know,
personally love the idea.
I like the idea. We've got time. We've got at least till what? End of May? We've got time to get our paws on some fries.
get our paws on some fries. But maybe something else will come out for the next one. We don't know.
Perhaps.
We'll have to keep the conversation going.
Of course.
Mhm.
All right. Well, if you guys have got to go, I'm going to go ahead and pull up, we can say our goodbyes. But, oh no, I got rid of our theme song.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you heard it earlier, but here it goes.
Okay, here we go.
Let's see. All right, well, everyone, it was great chatting with you all, and can't wait to see you again. It's been a great evening here in St. Louis. Have a great night, y'all.
Until next time.
Until next time.